cheers.
Hello.
So it's 10 to 4, and we just thought we would start a little early with our live. And anybody that's joining us, please introduce yourself. Most important, what cocktail are you having?
We're having an old-fashioned
with the Smoke Show Mixology orange syrup. These are fabulous, by the way.
So good. Just add that to your favorite bourbon.
Hey, Dave.
And we have our favorite little napkins.
Hi, Dave. Oh, Dave Dietz.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Dave. Of course.
What are you drinking?
Of course they better be here.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. What's the Sunday drink?
Yeah.
I love it.
Old fashioned.
What's a Sunday drink? It's the drink of the day.
It's
Drink
the
of the
drink of the
day.
day.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're wearing our fun t-shirts because
Yes.
after this we're going to a really fun restaurant here on the ranch for dinner. So we try to have fun every day.
In spite of it all.
Yeah,
We make
exactly.
something
Right.
fun every single day.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, it'll be the first time we've been there this season.
I
Just
know,
opened up.
yeah. Robert's Pub here on the ranch.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good.
It's going to be really good.
If you ever get a chance, come and visit us. We have lots of bedrooms.
That's right.
That's
People
right.
start knocking on the door. You said to come over.
That's right.
You can join our next live.
Oh,
Oh my
Whoever
gosh.
comes over,
mm-hmm.
right?
Wouldn't that be fun to have like
Oh my God.
10 people here?
Yeah,
10 strangers
Well,
that we
Reese
don't
told me
even
also
know.
to come over.
yeah.
Who's that?
Love Reese.
Your patient.
Love Reese.
Oh,
patient
Reese.
Reese.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
She said, "Oh, come
I
over.
hope you're
Do
watching.
live." I think she's in Pamela. Did we
She
decide?
was.
Or sisters now.
I don't know if she is
Well,
now,
Reese,
but
come on, let us know. 'Cause I can't remember now.
she's one of my favorite patients.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Love it. Love
That's
it.
awesome. Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone, what are you guys? You guys got a drink for Sunday? Anybody?
Let us know.
Let us know.
What you're doing. Oh, there
Yeah.
goes a coffee machine.
In the
Oh.
background. Lee has to have
That-
his afternoon coffee
Well,
that he did
Did
earlier.
that
I know. Well, sometimes they don't sleep at night.
Yeah,
which
last night was one of those nights.
Yeah, I didn't sleep for. I slept for about an hour and a half, but
That's
it
not
was
sleep. That's not
not quite.
sustainable.
It's not just quite enough.
No.
Yeah.
And my little aura ring I have on here
Mm-hmm.
weirdly tells me that I've been asleep for 7 hours, and I'm not asleep. I think what happens is I'm
you're
still.
Laying down.
Yeah.
I don't think it registers that I'm a quadriplegic,
No,
and
we
I
even
can't
put
really
that in
move.
somewhere that you could add different
Oh,
things.
yeah.
I put, I'm a quadriplegic, but it didn't.
You know, I just realized
Change
we have
anything.
Alexa on still in the background.
We have what?
We have music,
Music
going
on in the background because we were having our happy hour. We always have music playing.
Exactly. Living on a prayer.
I love it.
Oh God, that's all we need is
Dun,
John
dun,
John Bon Jovi joining us for live.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
love
if anybody knows John Bon Jovi, just ask him to come and join us.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
He'd be
I've
really fun.
always liked him.
Me too.
Me too.
And
He's a
now
great
his
rocker.
son is it his son that has the new rosé sparkling
Yes.
water
Uh-huh.
or sparkling rosé
Rosé,
wine or
right.
whatever?
Something water.
Yeah. Oh, and they call it something water.
Something water.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi.
Ashley, it says drink for me.
Oh,
Ashley.
girl. She has a new
Is
baby.
that our
Our
our Ashley?
Ashley?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Aw.
Aw, cheers.
One of our
We get to
caregivers.
see her next Friday with the new baby.
And her
I can't
baby's
wait.
only what, a week old?
Couple of weeks
Week
now.
and a half?
3
Yeah.
Oh.
3 weeks.
So I can't wait to meet her, little Adeline.
Yeah.
It'll be really fun, for
Really
sure.
fun.
Totally.
And I don't think she had a C-section.
we never did
We
find
never did
out.
find out.
Or did we?
We
Oh,
never
we
did
did
find
never
out.
find out.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask
Well,
her.
We'll see her
We
next
could,
week.
we'll be able to tell by the way she walks in here whether she
Oh
had
my
a
God.
C-section or pushed a cantaloupe out through her yin yang.
18 days.
Good Lord.
18 days. Okay.
It's been 18 days. Oh
Well-
my gosh, time flies.
I know.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So who else? Anybody else on there?
Oh.
God, we still have 5 minutes
I know.
before we actually start. That's so funny.
That's okay.
That's all
We
right.
could,
They are sisters.
Yes,
Oh.
we are.
somebody asked. Well, they're
We're twins.
sisters,
And who's
like
asking that?
major
Where are
sister.
they
Just some person.
from? I love
Yeah,
it.
Scott.
Hi, Scott. Cheers.
Scott.
Cheers,
Yes,
whoever
we are
you are.
sisters. We're twins.
We're twins.
I know.
Lee
Scott.
has to put up with both of
And
us.
I'm married to Lee.
Right.
Not both of us.
Make sure that's clear.
Yes.
And Scott, how old are you?
Always looking for Kathy.
I'm just wondering, just be,
Single lady on the right.
That's right.
yeah.
He said 65.
Whoa,
Are you
that-
happy?
Kathy, that's
Married,
in
are you happy?
that's in your wheelhouse.
Hey, that's hilarious.
That's what
We
got.
joke,
Oh,
we joke
do.
around,
Yeah.
just
a lot of
because
fun.
you know.
Laughter is good.
Yes. Finding joy no matter what.
Yeah,
That's our motto.
that's right. Exactly.
So here we are.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
comes another question, but
Avery's covering her
Avery's
mouth. Oh,
blushing. What the
Decon function. What is your question about?
which
Decon function. That's
De-
someone that's
deconstruction? No.
no, someone that's on the live is asking the question.
Yeah. They,
Yeah.
Oh, and what are they
He's
asking?
what? Like what's happening? Is this farmers only? No, this is for anyone. We're talking about Lee and he's. a
You know what?
Yeah.
The whole thing, it sort of surrounds my book that I'm writing, which is not just, it's not focused on quadriplegics or people who, have relatives or friends that are quadriplegics. It's almost mostly for everybody else
Mhm.
who doesn't know a single thing about what
Yeah,
quadriplegia means.
right. Definitely.
I mean, in the real world, just
Yeah.
the
And it's way different than a paraplegia.
And by the way, before we get started,
Oh.
I want to announce that Lee now has his own channel. So it's Quad Man Lee Robinson, and he's on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok as Quad Man Lee Robinson. And we'll be putting content on there, more behind
More
the
about
scenes, more
Lee.
clips about the book, kind of his daily routine, traveling, and all sorts of things. So make sure you follow us, or follow Lee, I should say.
Yeah.
Follow Lee at Quadman Lee Robinson.
Robinson.
I'm
Cool.
taking the social media by storm.
That's right. We're trying.
Well,
Oh, no,
One-
Kathy's
One
great.
account at a time.
One account at a time. Exactly.
Well,
No, it's fun.
Yeah. Well, should we get settled in our seats?
Sure.
Going down.
Going down. Gonna let Lee
Oh.
go down.
here we go. We're going down. Choo-choo.
What is Lee's in this?
Oh, it's
Socials?
Quadman. So yeah, if you could put that up there, Avery. Thank you. Good thinking. So it's QUAD and then MAN and Lee Robinson.
Oh, four,
All one
Four
word?
words.
no,
No,
four
four
words.
words.
4 words.
Oh, four
But
separate
you
words.
can also find it at Quadman Lee Robinson, all one word. But if you just put in Quadman Lee Robinson on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok,
What's that?
it should pull it up. I hope.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
We're getting to know this social media pretty
my God.
pretty well.
Yes, we are.
Well, thanks to you, for gosh sake.
Mhm.
I have no idea.
Kathy's our media
Fake
queen.
it till you make it. That's always been my goal.
Totally.
Anyway.
I don't even
It's all
know
good.
the difference between TikTok and Instagram
And that's okay.
and
YouTube
Faceplant. I mean,
Face plant.
Facebook. Sorry.
It does feel
Maybe
like
that
a
should
face
be a
plant.
new one. Face plant.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. I
it could
love
be
it.
Quadman at faceplant.com.
That is what happened with the face
Now
plant.
let's not confuse our audience. It's
Yeah.
Quadman Lee Robinson.
Totally.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
So
so should we go ahead and get started? So what we're going to do tonight is Lee is going to do a brief introduction for people that are new. This is our 5th live, by the way. So thank you to everyone that has been coming along this journey with us.
Yes.
And then he's going to read from chapter 4, which is all about his time at Craig Hospital in Denver, Colorado.
well, and then living with the new body.
and living with a new body. I
Yeah.
guess it's more about
So-
that. You're right.
a lot of it is about Craig, but also just living
right.
in a new body.
Living in a new body.
Yeah.
Well,
after the
that's where I
accident.
learned to
So that's
live
when you
in a new
learned.
bottle.
Yeah.
In a new
exactly.
bottle. New body.
So right, Lee.
That
Take
was
it away.
that was a Freudian slip.
No kidding.
Okay, go ahead. Are we on?
Yeah.
Are we
Let's
live?
do it. We're live.
We've been live.
All right. Okay. So, for those who don't know me or whatever's going on, I have this really short foreword that just kind of encapsulates what we're doing here And then later, I'm going to be just taking out one small segment of this journey and reading about it. Just
From your book.
it's just a manuscript
Yeah.
from the book that will be coming out within a month, maybe something like
Probably
that.
July. Yeah.
So
Still have some final editing, but it's still,
Oh.
you get the gist of it for sure.
it'll probably be never finally
I know.
edited, because every time I go through it, I go,
Like, oh,
oh, maybe I could change this.
What about that?
My poor ghostwriter is probably pulling her hair out, going, "What the hell are you doing?" Anyway, I seriously don't remember the exact moment I broke my neck. You'd think that would be a detail I'd never forget, that moment that my life split into before and after some event. What I do remember is speed. It was a polo match, and I was on a horse, as 7 other guys were. And I remember just having a collision and just instantly hitting the ground. And then trying to move, tell people I was okay, give them the thumbs up, which I can do right now, but I couldn't at the time.
Right.
Nothing really happened. I was just kind of laying there, and in a single instant, everything just changed. This isn't supposed to be a story about just inspiring people to go, oh, quadriplegics are so inspiring. It's more of a story about hearing what it's really like to be a quadriplegic, which is kind of weird and kind of gross in a lot of ways that you don't see in books and that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm Lee Robinson, and tonight I'm going to share just a small segment of that journey with you.
All right.
I'm going to read chapter 4 from my book. So anytime people hear this and chime in and want it, is it a text they send or
In the comments.
comments
you can leave a
on
question
the
Yeah.
talk?
on either TikTok or Instagram. We're on both.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you can leave a comment if you have a question, and we would love
At the
that.
end, then we'll
do more at the end.
address them at the end.
And we have our producer over here,
Avery.
Avery. Oh my gosh.
She's great.
So great.
I feel like I'm in a TV studio or something. Anyway,
By the way, real quick, can you hear Lee okay? Is his mic working? We had some issues last week. If you could just kind of chime in and say, yeah, we hear him, and or not,
That would be good.
that would be great.
most of them
Thumbs
are
up?
probably going to go, I can't really hear him, but it's better.
Thank you.
Better that way.
Thumbs
Thank
up.
you, Queen.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, this is chapter 4, and I've labeled it Learning to Live in a New Body, because this happened just 2 weeks after my injury. I spent a couple weeks in an acute trauma hospital situation where they fixed my neck and all that sort of thing. But then after that, you have to go off and go to rehab. And this is kind of a generalized story about what happens over that few months. The words, "you may never walk again," were words that had been spoken earlier during that previous hospitalization. Those worries now followed me. The intake process at Craig Hospital was a blur. There were neurologic exams that went on forever, strength testing, which was part of those exams, x-rays, review of x-rays, looking at scans. But the conclusion was clear, which I'd already figured out the second I snapped my neck, was that I had suffered a complete or incomplete spinal cord injury right up in the middle of my neck. C4-5 means the cervical levels 4 and 5. The complete and incomplete, which people hear all the time in spinal cord injuries, describes the severity of a spinal injury. Complete means that there's virtually no motor, meaning movement, or sensory function below the level. It isn't because the spinal cord is actually severed, but in almost every case, the stretching or the compression that occurs when the neck is hyperextended or bent beyond the norm is so bad that the cord may as well be severed. The incomplete term refers to less severe injuries. Luckily, that's what I have. Meaning the different parts of sensation and muscle function are possible. There was, at the time, a fragile optimism that some function could return. And that's why I was at a rehab hospital and scheduled to be there for months. The evening I got admitted, and after all these intakes and all that stuff, any illusion that I ever had of being independent, having any degree of modesty or privacy, was instantly gone. Yeah. A jarring reality set in, and it's because, and this is part of the gross underbelly of quadriplegia, 14 days in my other hospital, I didn't have a single bowel movement. And it was from multiple uses of narcotics without a bunch of stool softeners and that sort of thing. When I got to Craig, they knew that that needed to be treated. And they had their infamous, quote, smog, unquote, enema. What that means is it's equal parts of saline, which is the S, mineral oil, which is the MO of smog, and then glycerin. So they mix all that up and they shove it up there and they wait. And yes, 2 weeks, 2 weeks of crap came flying out of there, and it was like everywhere. It worked unbelievably and got things cleared out. It was just the beginning of this 3-month journey. At that point, I'd already been there one night, and I realized after that one night that I'm going to have to adjust to lack of sleep. Even in a rehab hospital, the nurses would come around and wake us, meaning patients, every hour or two, and gently, but quickly rotating us from left to right to prevent what are called pressure sores. Quadriplegics are acutely aware of this because of their inability to move. If they're sitting in one area for a long period of time, the skin breaks down. And then there becomes this real possibility of infection, one of the leading causes of death in paralyzed patients, which I was, obviously. These pressure sores are also known as decubitus ulcers, and they're one of the most dangerous long-term complications facing quadriplegics, alongside pneumonia and, weirdly, suicide, which we'll get into later chapters about that. These sores develop when there's this prolonged pressure on one area that cuts off blood flow to the skin and the tissue underneath it. And it's most commonly noticed over bony areas, the sacrum, the hips. And for me, I had lost weight. 15 pounds at the time. I wasn't eating right. I had to sleep on one side of my shoulders because one side had this tendonitis, It was complicated, but I was forced to sleep almost exclusively on my left side for this extended period of time. Fortunately, one of my caregivers noticed a small area of discoloration on my left hip. But noticing that basically allows treatment or repositioning before you get a significant ulcer. So even with that, it took 2 months for that to heal. Wow.
Wow.
So pressure sores essentially became a constant part of my daily life. Adjustments were made to my power chair, specialized mattress toppers that continuously shift air pressure underneath the body, eliminate all these stresses in one area. Hospitals and rehab centers, they commonly use this type of technology. Right after the smog enema, which was late in the evening, the next day at Craig, there was a fitting for what they call a power chair, which is what I'm sitting in right now. Without movement of my arms and hands, which I didn't have at that time, literally everything was gone. The chair had to be equipped with what they call a sip and puff system. And it's essentially a flexible straw that you blow in and out, and it allows me to control the movement of the chair. The nurses and the PAs and all the caregivers there taught me the subtle differences in various patterns of sipping and puffing on the straw that allowed forward, backward movement, turning left, turning right, even at different speeds.
I'm such a spaz. I don't think I would ever.
Oh,
I
Get
can't
that.
even imagine.
oh,
dear
Yeah.
Lord.
you have nothing else to do. Why
Yeah.
not? You got, try to
Still,
sip and
you have
puff.
to be smart.
Anyway.
Insane.
But after, they let me practice for about an hour in the room, so I wouldn't go out and kill somebody initially. But after that, I decided to spend another hour or so navigating the hallways of the hospital and realized this chair was going to be my legs. Probably going forward forever, but sitting there trying to accept it. After getting fitted for this, the next day I started 7-hour days of rehab, and the days filled quickly. Occupational therapy, physical therapy, these standing exercises and sessions, even on what they call an e-bike, an electrical bike, where they attach electrodes to your legs and stimulated the movement of being on a bike. Did that every day. It was one of the first really advanced modalities that's used by Craig for rehabilitation. Helps keep the cardiovascular system going, gets movement to things that need movement, and bodies need that. It really was an odd feeling having my legs move from the stem pattern that was programmed into the bike, but not being able to feel it at all. I'm just telling you, odd, really odd. The occupational therapy that was added to that hourly thing involved exercising muscles that are involved with hand movement and arm movement. As you can see, I can kind of do it, but at the time they were trying to rehab and get anything out of me. Movement slowly returned over weeks and months. And during these rehab sessions, there was this glimmer of hope that this limited hand and function to do routine things, such as feeding myself, brushing my tail, bathing, dressing, all the stuff that everybody does, would gradually improve. Physical therapy was a little more strenuous. And this was a daily thing. It involved weight-bearing exercises to improve the ability of the muscles to potentially walk again. There were also appointments with psychiatrists that are trained to deal with the mental trauma of these type of injuries. It's interesting. The arm function, which is really limited to begin with, was augmented every day by therapists who specialize in using technology to assist daily in chores. There were rooms designed to teach caregivers how to safely transfer a patient, say from to and from my chair to a car. It was interesting. Oh, I missed a line there. Sorry.
It's all right.
They also, not just going from a chair to a car, but if you ever wanted to travel, you needed to know, and your caregivers needed to know how to get you out of those tiny little aisle chairs that they bring invalids onto the plane with, and get out of there and into a seat. And it's not that easy, even with amazing caregivers that I have. But they help train people to do that. There was also a department of recreational therapy that Craig Hospital had. They routinely, this is weird, they routinely arranged yearly, and I think sometimes multiple times a year, to take quadriplegics, paraplegics on things such as a week of scuba vacations on a yacht in wherever, Honduras or Bahamas or wherever it was. Ski vacations, get people all bundled up, go up, head down the slopes. It's pretty crazy. You could always do skydiving and just, yeah, well, I did skydiving at one point in my life. But it's one of those things that you literally cannot conceive of a paraplegic, quadriplegic doing that kind of thing. And they're one of the best hospitals in the world doing this type of thing. But there's one thing that I dreaded, and that was hydrotherapy. And that involves a pool that's basically filled with water the same temperature as your body, so you don't get chilled in it. And then flotation devices put around your head, this and that, and weights put on your feet to force me to kind of be upright. I'm telling you, I have this real phobia of drowning, which I bet a lot of people have. But also having this water flowing into my ears while I'm just laying there. That's why I could never just lay around in a pool before my injuries. It just would drive me crazy. So this phobia of drowning actually dated back to a few close calls I had when I was initially, before my injury, kind of an adventure seeker. And it was whitewater kayaking on a Clackamas River outside of Portland when I was first starting my practice. It was a really good friend of mine from my class. But he was way better than I was, and I would be following him into these big rapids that rapidly, if you're not that good, which I wasn't because I was just starting to do it, you would overturn in these big rapids. And one of these core water safety skills you had to know was how to do this kayak roll, which gets you from upside down to up forward. But it's kind of weird when you're upside down and reaching down and flipping back up to the top so you can breathe. There's a lot of time when there's so much air in the water, the white water, that your flotation from your kayak is severely limited. No matter how much you try to get up and with this kayak roll and everything. So I had several times, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm over my head, so to
Literally.
speak. Yeah, literally over my head. But it's just that sort of thing just followed me forever, and they wanted me to do this almost on a daily basis. It made me super uncomfortable to be in this weirdly clinical, warm, supposed to be comforting and supposed to be very therapeutic. But I was just like, okay, water spilling in my ears, got the contraption around my head. I got my nose inches away from the surface, and my ears were like filling with water. And I just, because it made me so uncomfortable, I decided I've got to figure out a way to get out of this, which I did. I know. Doing stuff that required, thinking outside the box was what we all called a little bit later. We dubbed it MacGyvering. And this is probably for older people out there, but there used to be a show on TV called MacGyver, where some guy could make an atomic bomb out of duct tape and a clothespin, that sort of thing. But MacGyvering allowed me to get and do things that I thought were important. And by reporting a potential bowel accident that I might have had last night or a day before, kind of got me excused out of.
Because you had to have so many days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No issues.
You had to have 5 days where your bowels, clean or whatever. Oh my gosh. It reminds me of that scene in Caddyshack where somebody throws out the Baby Ruth bar, and it's like, oh my God, it's turned, and they have to drain the pool. And
now we're really aging ourselves.
oh, I know.
This isn't in the book. We're just.
Oh, that's not in the book.
Yeah,
I'm just ad-libbing this, but it's kind of funny. At the end of that little scene, they had to drain the pool, and I can't remember, the actor reached down in a hazmat suit and picked up this thing that looked like a turd and went.
Isn't that Bill Murray?
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, very good.
I took a bite of it. He goes, that's pretty good. And everybody around the pool faints and everything. So anyway, I've excused, and I always thought about that scene.
I mean, there are a couple questions.
Oh, you want to fire away? Oh, gosh, yeah, we're just halfway through this.
Jax asked, have you been in contact with
Neuralink, yeah. You know what? It was a year or two ago when Neuralink first came out that there were applications that you could do online, and you filled out exactly what your situation was, what was your sensory levels, what were your ability to move levels, what was your health, what was your age. And, we got something back, I think, within a few weeks. I'm sure it was a personal,
from Elon Musk.
Sure. Saying, well, I've looked at this and I don't think you're really a candidate yet. But they'd only done one patient at the time.
And it was blind.
And he was blind and couldn't do anything except move his eyes.
So that's a good question. We'll have to look into that again.
Yeah, the Neuralink.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, hell, he's got Starlink going, so.
Exactly.
Neuralink, Quadrolink, I don't know.
Quadrolink.
Anyway.
Can we ask, what kind of work did you do before your injury?
Oh, I was a plastic surgeon in Portland, Oregon. I was specializing in facial, cosmetic, surgical procedures for lots of vain people. But they were great, and I loved it, and my patients were happy, and it was a big part of my life. And part of the story isn't, I don't think it's in this chapter, but it goes into my past
Yeah.
and growing up and all that sort of thing. But that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because being a quadriplegic, I couldn't keep doing operating. Be hard to do a facelift doing that. Anyway.
Good sense of humor. Yeah.
Well, we
You have
try.
to. You have to.
Oh, we
Yeah.
try.
We try.
I try to keep these girls smiling. It's kind of
And you do.
it's kind of difficult. Anyway.
Joe says he loves the matching fun shirts.
Oh, thank you,
guys
Joe.
are always keeping it fun.
Oh, I
Joe
know.
Washnack?
Yeah.
I thought it was Joe
Yes.
Washnack.
Joe's a friend of mine.
Thank you. Good.
We have fun
Yeah.
till her daddy takes the
Takes the
T-bird
T-bird
away.
Okay, don't start singing.
So anyway, here we go. As I got done with getting out of this hydrotherapy thing, and luckily for my first 3 months, my only 3 months of Craig, Kim, my sister, was there.
Yes.
And luckily, her young adult children held down the fort in Seattle, where she's from, so she could reach me by dropping everything and driving across literally the continental divide in the middle of the winter so she could be there and help out. You need family.
Yeah.
My brother came, and he took time off his practice until he had a diagnosis of prostate cancer, which required treatment. He underwent procedures for that required him to have a catheter, which is a tube in his bladder for, while he was recovering. His bag that he had to attach this catheter to for weeks, maybe a month or two, was similar to mine. And I'll show you. Oh, you should show it. You're paralyzed and everything doesn't work. They have to put a tube
Can you
in.
see that, Avery?
That's
Oh, okay.
reality. Yeah.
There's reality.
There's reality. It's fun when you're out in public and you got to drain it, but we have our ways of doing it. Tom called us bag buddies because of this.
Because they both had their
Oh, we had our
bags.
bags, and we didn't go anywhere without them.
That's right. True.
Anyway,
No, it's good.
so Brian, my son,
Yeah.
he visited his dad during rehab at Colorado, and he was unprepared for what he found. His words, a man he'd always seen as larger than life, was now confined to a wheelchair or a hospital bed. Here's a quote. My dad had always been an active person, always doing something. To see him struggle like that, struggling with basic things, was shocking to him. It was really hard to see him that way, and it still is. As a child, Brian views his father as kind of a Superman, someone who could do just about anything. Quote, he made everything big, and the occasion felt like a party. And he said, that's what I love about him. He did everything 110%, still does. That initial shock eventually gave way to something a little steadier. He realized that I was kind of the same person. And our relationship changed, not in a negative way, but we had a different way of interacting. I was, in his words, sitting now and not going anywhere and doing stuff. So we had time to talk. It was really good. 3 weeks before my accident, Brian's sister, who's my daughter, gave birth to her first grandson.
Her first baby. Your grandson.
Her first. No,
okay. We know what you mean.
My first. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm kind of trying to ad-lib this a little bit. Yeah, his name's Ash.
And
needless to say, Eric and her husband Trevor were ridiculously preoccupied with Nash They're entering this new realm of parenthood and taking care of this, what Trevor called a tiny human. When Erica's parents, meaning me and my now ex-wife, told her what happened, her first reaction was significant alarm, but then this weird, cautious optimism.
That's so Erica.
That's her.
Now that I know her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quote from her. My initial thought was, oh my God, this is really serious. But she knew that the parents have always been protective and told her what they wanted to hear. And so the real reality of things never sort of sunk in until now. She was thinking, this is crazy what's going on. But at the time, she goes, I felt helpful.
Yeah.
My dad's done crazy things before. We've always gotten through them. I believe this would be something we'd overcome. My dad's crazy, totally crazy. He's an extreme person in every sense of the whole being. Erica elaborated on her description of crazy. Quote, he doesn't do anything half-assed. He's not going to just be a surgeon. He's going to be the best facial plastic surgeon in the area. Those are her words. He's not going to just ride motorcycles around. He's going to have his motorcycle custom built. He's going to go on these crazy long motorcycle adventures with my buds. He's not just going to play polo, which is how I was injured. He's going to play competitive polo, which is fast. Horses ride 30 miles an hour and
Yikes.
things happen anyway. She recalled one of my her dad's mishaps that occurred while engaging in these activities. For example, riding my motorcycle 5 days after I bought it, I had a severe laceration in my ankle after being hit by some drunk running a stop sign. That I healed from. But I also broke my leg playing polo just a few years before my accident. And it was a pretty significant fracture. My lower tibia and fibula and had to be operated on, that sort of thing. But weirdly, it didn't keep me from getting back on the horse 4 months later and playing again. I know.
What a surprise.
Anyway, so while she was in Oregon, listening to what was all going on, she decided with my sister, her Aunt Kim, to visit me. And Erica says, I actually did surprise him. He literally didn't know I was coming. I was in the gym doing my physical therapy when she first saw me. Quote, she goes, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is weird seeing Dad in a wheelchair and seeing him in this state, she said. But I was also feeling a glimmer of hope because he's here doing rehab, not just laying in a bed.
Right.
This is exactly what he needs to be doing, given this circumstance for sure. So, however distressing the reality basically set in when we all returned back to the room, Erica recognized that me, needed help with literally everything. I couldn't do a single thing on my own. Quote, he couldn't even scratch his nose or put on lip slime, which we called it, chapstick, if he wanted it. I had to ask everybody for everything.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest part for her, to see that I needed help with absolutely everything. So going forward through this 3-month hospitalization, at times my nieces and nephews, my other relatives, friends, they all played a role in getting my recovery going. Having family around was critical, as it allowed me to continue my physical therapy even on the weekends. they did things 5 days a week, and the weekends
Yeah.
were free. But
But that wouldn't stop you.
it doesn't stop me. I
Okay.
went with Kim. I went with Eric. I went with people who came to visit me, and we just conversed over my PT.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
it made the PT go a little bit faster,
Yeah.
a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
So
Where we at here?
almost 3 months into this, and it was just a few weeks before my discharge. The COVID pandemic hit. I know. And it totally shut down Craig Hospital's outpatient, uh, their facility, which they had hundreds and hundreds of people who had been discharged from the hospital come back and do outpatient recovery. So all of a sudden, here I am starting to make plans to stay there for 3 months, 6 months, and I have like 2 weeks to call up and luckily have a contractor that was here at my house redo my house, meaning I had to put in ramps just to get from the garage into the main floor. I had to put in ramps to get into my shower, which had a 4-inch, threshold on it. Doors needed to be widened because, regular doors can be really narrow, especially going around corners and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had entire doors taken out and these sliding barn doors put in, had another major door having to be reordered and redone. But Matt got it done in 2 weeks, which was amazing.
Totally.
Because of the transition to an apartment, which I had tried to get done, was scrapped, I would have to go home.
Yeah.
But to go home, you need a caregiver. You need a designated caregiver. Craig won't just
release you. And say,
no.
Good luck.
Yep. Good luck. You
Yeah.
rehab for 3 months.
Yeah.
Off you go. Have a good life. But to be a caregiver, Kim needed to actually learn all this stuff about caring for me and taking tests along the way to prove to the Craig Hospital that she was up to being a caregiver.
Yeah.
Let's see. One thing. Oh, she had to learn about catheters for this urinary care. You just saw that. A daily bowel program, which I'll go over into in a second, and recognizing these life-threatening complications, the bed sores, skin infections, urinary tract infections, and a reaction that normal people don't have called autonomic dysreflexia, which everybody nicknames AD because nobody can remember that word. It's one of the most serious complications that occur in quads, especially with people with these high-level injuries. The body below it doesn't recognize pain or irritation, and so it reacts to pain as you would expect. Severe pain, your blood pressure starts to go up, and it can go right through the stratosphere. Anything could cause it. A full bladder from a kink catheter, even constipation, which is normal and an irritation for most people, and a small annoyance, but for people like me, I'll describe it as being a major problem. Things such as like an abnormal fold in a sock can set off this body's alarm, and it's a really weird deal. The body panics up here, way up here in your brain, and the messages that normally go from your brain down into your body to calm and relax because of the pain, they don't get through, and the crisis keeps building. And left unchecked, this AD can be fatal. And solving it is just as quick as fixing whatever started. But you need to know what to look for. And it takes a while to learn all that kind of stuff. And Kim, being as intelligent as she is, she just cruised through learning all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Of course.
of course, she did an amazing job.
Yeah.
The one weirdest thing I think that I had to learn and she had to learn was dealing with what we call a bowel program. And a bowel program is weird because the body, when you have this injury, it's the normal signals don't go down through your intestine, and it slows everything down, and then you can become severely constipated. And if you don't treat it over a long period of time, um, the bowel, the colon, can become so blocked that it perforates, like a hole in the side of the colon happens. And all of a sudden, you have all this bacteria all leaking out into your abdominal cavity, and it causes sepsis, which is a systemic infection. And if untreated early, it's fatal. And this actually happened to a patient at Craig just shortly before I got there. And they talked about it. This guy had gone home. He didn't have any, his caregivers didn't show up to do what they needed to do. And he just percolated at home and perforated his bowel. They brought him into the hospital, put him in the ICU, treated with antibiotics, surgery, closed the hole, this and that, and he died anyway. So it was a really stark reminder that things that you would think would be just like weird, you don't want to kind of go there, but you absolutely have to go there. So anyway, I've been ad-libbing here crazy. So we were talking about this neurogenic bowel, the lack of this intestinal mobility. The one thing that prevents it from happening is what I alluded to, a daily bowel program. And what that means is you need to stimulate everything down there to actually empty. And it involves grossly, disgustingly, and dehumanizingly your caregiver, which at this point was my sister, putting on a glove, sticking suppositories up my butt every morning, and waiting for that stimulation to get the bowel going and empty. And it, even to this day, it's been an issue. It doesn't just go clockwork every day. But she learned it. This reminder that they kept telling us about this patient was like, she's going to get this. Craig Hospital was interesting. Not only did they have these things for physical therapy to try and augment and get the muscles and everything going, but there were things like discussion groups that they had on Thursday nights. And you go down in this room in the hospital, and they would have sometimes a dozen alumni from Craig that had all different types of spinal injuries, spinal cord injuries. And they would come in and they would talk. They would just sit there and wait for a group of a dozen or 24 patients who had just got admitted over the last 2 weeks or 4 weeks to ask questions. Oh, they always had a million questions. Yeah, it was, there really weren't any topics that were off limits or even frowned upon. Interestingly, most of these discussions revolved about financial aid and finances, because transforming from a normal person into a quadriplegic is a ridiculously expensive ordeal. Many of the foreign patients had lots of experience dealing with various agencies to help get their homes and arrange for caregivers so they could get out of there. And so a lot of those discussions were that way, but it it wasn't just that. It was things such as even sexuality in quadriplegics, and that was brought up. You know, how do women get pregnant if they're quadriplegic? Happens all the time. Well, you gotta use your imagination to figure that one out. It's crazy. The nerves just don't work like they're supposed to. Another another discussion involving expense was purchasing what are called durable medical equipment, DMEs. Medicare, even with supplemental insurance, doesn't cover the cost of things such as physical therapy tables, rolling commode chairs that you need to get on the commode and do your bowel program, or get, put it in the shower and get your showers done. And it's weird. One of the more expensive items that you'd think would be totally covered is a power chair, just like this. And it's necessary for getting around. But even with excellent medical insurance, supplemental, if you have Medicare, the co-pays to get a chair like this can be way over 10 grand. And these power chairs are complex. They're important, move people around.
Yeah.
They allow us to go anywhere, to tilt, get in various positions. Some of them actually, turn that on, babe. Thanks.
No, up.
No. Yep,
Go.
there you go.
Sorry.
So some of these chairs, such as mine, will do things like this. I'll show you real quick. They actually stand.
I got it.
Oh, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
They'll stand you up vertically, just like this. Takes about 30 seconds. But the weird thing is that Medicare and all the insurance companies that follow Medicare guidelines won't pay anything for a chair such as this. And this is really important because standing vertically, it's really important for blood circulation.
Imagine.
The weight bearing helps keep bones, muscles, ligaments healthy.
Exactly.
These chairs are ridiculously expensive. And they don't even think about the health benefits of these type of chairs.
It's like they think it's a foo-foo thing. It's like, no, it's kind of important to stand up.
Yeah, but if we can just put a quad in a chair and let them cruise around,
Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough for their health and everything. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that's ever going to change.
Too, Lee had to spend over $30,000 to get this chair. Well, not everybody has $30,000 laying around.
Well, I didn't have a laying around
I know,
either,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
at least you could do it.
I could do it.
Most people can't.
I know.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go on to some of the other stuff they talked about in these sessions. A lot of them were medically oriented. They included learning from experience about urinary tract infections, UTIs, and they're common in people who are paralyzed. And they're quite debilitating. I've had a few of them, and they just wipe you out.
Yeah.
It's weird. Because the level of the injury in quadriplegia, the normal emptying of the bladder doesn't occur because the nerves to it aren't normal. So it basically requires a indwelling, meaning a permanent catheter, being inserted directly into the bladder, which empties into a leg bag, which is then intermittently drained. The body doesn't tolerate these things, even when they're permanent, and they get colonized with bacteria, and it's a delicate balance between just giving antibiotics to people, just boom, 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 because you get resistant organisms, bacteria from doing that. Right. So proper care of these catheters was a frequent topic, and no one ever seemed squeamish at all or resistant to talking about virtually anything. And I think it was because you go through this process of, I have to have this done every day, or I need somebody with me 24 hours, 7 days a week, almost, to be able to recognize these things. Pretty crazy. There's another issue that happens with people in, quadriplegia like this, and another one is the nerves that innervate everything down below just don't work, and because of that, there's a tolerance that you don't have to standing up like I am right now.
Where's your blood pressure cuff?
I know.
Yeah, I got the blood pressure cuff. At the one of the first days there, they stood me up in this standing frame, and it was done to make sure I could stand up for like 3 minutes at a time without my blood pressure dropping really bad, because they needed to be able to get into certain apparatus and things and be vertical and not be passing out from a drop in blood pressure. It's interesting that healthy blood pressure is generally, on the average, 120 over 80. Oh, it's dead.
Oh, great.
Sometimes it happens. That's
Hang on
okay.
a second. Producer Avery's going to
Oh,
find another
yep,
one.
she's going to find another one. A normal person, when they sit for long periods of time or lay down and then they stand up really quickly, most normal people, the blood vessels constrict and the blood pressure stays absolutely perfect. But in somebody like me, it doesn't happen. And in the weeks that came after getting hospitalized there, they found out that my blood pressure would drop, but not bad enough that I couldn't take advantage of things such as external physical skeleton. Big one that was fun was called the Locomat, where they strap you into it, stick an exoskeleton on, which attaches, your calves, your legs, your pelvis, your lower body, your arms, and then puts you through this walking while they're stimulating with a computer. I'm okay.
123 over 96.
Oh, there we
Wow,
go.
that's
123
good.
over
That's good.
96. I'll be here until the end of this broadcast. Fortunately for you
Usually
guys.
you don't have to.
I know.
Usually-
I mean,
It's interesting.
Usually it drops. Yeah.
Yeah, usually it does drop. Anyway, I was able to take advantage of all the things that they had for 3 months. And it gave me hope. It was really, really interesting. I skipped a paragraph there, but you know what? We can do this. After getting home, though, my blood pressure ended up becoming a fairly significant problem. And then I had to be put on medications for it. Still am on them. I haven't quite passed out from standing up.
No, but close.
Well, I get close, yeah.
I mean, sometimes it drops to ridiculous,
Like 60 over something. Like,
over.
whoa, sit down.
Like,
Go down, go
whoa.
down.
60 over 40 is...
Yeah.
It's happened. Yeah.
Oh, it
it's
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary because you start getting
just
this
like
weird
that.
tunnel vision. And if you don't go down, you'll actually faint. And if you faint being held straight up like this and you don't end up on the ground,
Yeah.
your blood pressure will just continue to drop. And, you'll eventually,
Well, that's-
start seizing and foaming at the mouth and generally, getting attention. And they would put you down. But luckily, that didn't happen with me. So the other thing that happens, and we discovered at Craig Hospital, was that regulating body temperature is a significant problem and has been for me for 6 years now. Heat stroke becomes an issue because there's a normal lack of sweating from my
That
neck
we
down.
have, yeah.
Yeah, everybody has it. And that sweating, people think it's really irritating and bothersome, but it's the one thing that cools
Yeah.
mammals, warm-blooded people, and animals down because of the evaporation. You don't have that when you have this. The exact same opposite of that occurs when you're in the cold, because the vasculature in the lower part of your body doesn't constrict and seal off the cold air on your extremities to keep your core temperature up. So clothing decisions it's a constant thing. What's the temperature outside? What's the wind doing? What can I
Temperature in the
wear?
airplane. You're like,
Temperature in the
oh my gosh,
airplane.
it's so cold. He has all these layers on, and I'm like sweating. And yeah, it's so
You
interesting.
can tell she loves traveling with me.
I do.
Anyway,
I do.
all these issues make life as a quadriplegic, I'd say, challenging at best. And coming up next week, I'll talk a little bit more about what life was like getting out of the hospital and arriving home.
Yeah.
And just starting that entire process. I hope you guys join, because I think it's interesting, but then I'm the one that has to live it. So if you have any friends, family that know anybody like this, or if you're ever interested in what the details are of being a quadriplegic, just join in.
Yeah, Kimmy said that she's so glad that you had this discussion. I would love to read your book.
Oh,
I
well,
love it. Thank you. Thank you for sure.
got at least one. That's good.
That's right. Thanks, Kate.
That's funny.
Yeah, anyway.
So time for some questions.
Yeah, if people have any questions about
Matt
What I-
says, "Power to you, brother."
Oh,
What?
is that our Matt from
Matt
Matt did the
Oh,
house?
which
my
Matt?
gosh.
Oh, no.
No, Matt.
I bet.
Oh,
Ashley's
Matt.
Matt.
Ashley's Matt. Okay.
One of our caregivers who
Yeah,
just
yeah,
Or
yeah.
could
just
be
had a
Matt.
baby. Yeah, he
Maybe
said,
Matt.
I know, it's so
Could be
cool.
any Matt.
Cool.
I've got this
Yeah.
village of people around me that it's just a whole different life, but it's been weirdly cool to meet people that are so out of what my realm would be without this injury. And my caregivers and their spouses and their significant others have become friends
Oh, yeah.
because of all the
Yeah.
intimate things that happen. I mean,
Right.
you don't just have somebody off the street come and stick a finger up your butt to make you poop. Right?
Right.
Yes. Anyway.
But we do find fun every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we wore these for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got these for something else and decided
Fun.
today
Today would be a good day to
we
wear them.
decided to have
gonna have
fun.
Have fun.
So
And
we
that's
hope
what
you're
we're
having fun too.
Yeah,
Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. Oh,
It-
it is
oh.
Sunday fun day. Very good.
very good. Okay, any other questions?
Good evening, y'all. Hello. I think you missed it, but it was a good live today. Got a question. You did a lot of other sports other than polo, like whitewater rafting, kayaking, motorcycle. Were you ever like scared you were going to hurt your hands?
Being a
Well-
surgeon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was a surgeon. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Going back, I grew up on a farm. My dad was a surgeon. He's an eye surgeon, ophthalmologist. And I remember him coming home, you know, even still with the little marks in his face from the surgical mask that he'd had on for hours, doing corneal transplants and cataracts and all that stuff in patients. But the second he'd get home, he'd go get on a tractor and start, you know, hooking up a sickle mower or plows or baler for or, you know, taking apart the tractor and putting it all back together. And he would always scrape up his hands, cut things here and there. But I was always impressed with the fact that he would, and I'd ask him about this, he'd go and have surgery all day, and every day you had, every patient you have, you got to scrub the hell out of it to prep. And you just basically kind of did it and cleaned it all out. I think everything healed quicker because of it. But he never missed a day of surgery just because he smashed his thumb with a hammer or.
Okay, so you didn't really think about it.
I know I didn't really say that. That's a good.
Yeah.
It just wasn't really. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with it. I virtually no time I ever took out of my practice
Because of
for
something like that.
injuries
Yeah,
or anything like that, for sure.
I got another question from Lisa. How tough was it to do the bowel program stuff with strangers?
Oh.
You know, it was easier to do it with strangers than it was my sister.
Oh,
For sure.
You know, because she. Anyway.
Yeah.
But that bowel program thing started the very first day, well, second day I was there. And it was one of those things that was instantly what I would call dehumanizing in a way, because all your modesty, everything is thrown out. You're naked, you're sitting on this weird rolling chair, and they put you over the toilet and they do this and stick suppositories in because you have to poop. And people never think about it. Most people just go every day and it just happens.
And without help.
Well, most people don't need help with it, I hope.
Like, you think of that as your private time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it just kind of.
That went away.
Yeah.
There is no private time.
Yeah.
Ever.
Good point, Avery.
But it's okay when you're with people that you know want to be there and are dedicated to taking care of you.
Yes.
Which I look at you, I look at you, and I look at Avery, our producer behind the cameras, and my other several caregivers. They're amazing.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to learn to drive your chair?
Oh, that's weird.
Oh.
Yeah, this sip and puff thing, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get a picture of that in the book.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't know, maybe an hour to get the basics down.
Yeah.
And then once you get the basics down, you know you're not going to run over anybody or smash head on into a wall. It allows you to just go out and just get, okay, can you get into an elevator?
Yeah.
Can you turn the corner? Can you go through a narrow, hallway? Can you move it where you want to do it and as fast as you want to do it? And I don't know, few hours.
So how long were you with the sip and puff before you transitioned to a regular chair? And didn't have to have the sip and
I
puff?
don't remember that. I would say it was probably a month.
Oh, wow.
Or 6 weeks. That I think I'm going to put in the book because I'm pretty sure my sister has a video of the very first time my right arm, my hand started to do this, just twitch. And of course I had some expletives going, holy Toledo. It's working. But once I was able to do a little bit, the occupational therapist rigged up something that unweighted my arm, allowed me to get a throttle like this.
Oh, it was on this side.
To move you forward at this and switch in between modes and that sort of thing. It was originally here because my left arm, which doesn't work very well, even still, I call it the claw, wasn't working at all. And it took another month or so before that came online that I was able to switch from the throttle being here to here, which is really important because you need to have, even though you're moving around, you need to have something available to be able to do other things.
Right.
Move things out of the way, kind of open the door, and just try to be as independent as you can. So that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
How do you control the chair if you can't feel your hands?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, to describe it to people, I have no feeling. If somebody just grabs my hand and touches it, the only way I know that Karla's touching it is that my shoulder is moving a little bit from her touching it. But you have to learn that if you're going to do anything with your hands, you have to watch it, grasp, and then watch it, go forward, do this. If you're grabbing a fork, you can't just go grab a fork and shove food in your mouth.
Yeah.
You've got to look at it, position it exactly right. So
Wow.
it happens by necessity.
Like a
But
lot of focus.
but even now, it's like I can't just reach over and grab the throttle and start tooling through the house.
Which to me was so interesting because I assumed from watching him that he could feel his hands because it's amazing how much he does do with his hands, but he can't feel any of that. It's his brain telling him what
You
to
get
do.
it
Just blows my
rewired.
mind. It blows my mind. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
John asked, was it hard to see your children for the first time after the accident?
I know and knew my kids as being ridiculously resilient. And I knew that they would see through it, but the initial, like, walking into the room and just seeing me, like, sitting in a chair like this or laying in bed, I knew it was going to be traumatic, and it was for them, but they got over it really quick. You
They
just
did.
move on.
Their dad.
They
Yeah.
did. Yeah. That's
But
true.
yeah, it's difficult to see any loved one
Yeah.
be
Sure.
sad for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Back to your kayaking accident.
Oh gosh.
Like, were you worried at Craig about drowning, or was it
Yep.
just uncomfortable with water?
I knew I wouldn't drown because I had two physical therapists in the room, not in the room, but in the pool. But just being so close to the water, like the water is like right here and like an inch away from my ear.
On the cusp of,
You're just on the cusp of a little
sensation.
minor PTSD about being underwater and not getting, just going, I got to get this kayak up or I'm going to have to somehow pop out of it and then float down the river and eventually get back into it. Yeah, it just makes it a little more exciting.
Of course.
Because I have my little purple kayak that I just sit on and floats on the river.
But your
You're talking
feet
about the
are
one,
out.
right? Your feet
They're
are
not
out. You're talking about the one that
underneath.
has a little hole in,
Yeah,
in it,
and your feet are in
it's
it.
really narrow. That's
No.
a whole different
Whole
kayak.
different thing. Yeah.
Whitewater kayaking.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting though.
Oh yeah.
Pretty
thrilling.
Seeker.
Any more questions to wrap it up, y'all?
Oh, I don't have any.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
thank
for joining
you.
us.
Yeah,
Go
thank you
ahead,
for
Lee.
joining us.
And we're gonna go have some fun
Yeah.
We always
We're gonna
do.
go have dinner and
at a fun place.
at a fun
Yeah.
place and
Yep. And they'll be here next week.
and appreciate you being here.
Yes.
4 p.m. next
4
week?
p.m.
Yes.
Yeah, we
We'd like more
decided
time
To
it's
reach more people.
we reach more people because
Yeah.
it's not just people in Oregon or
Yes.
California. It's I've got
Got
friends on the East Coast and people that I don't know we want to reach.
Yeah.
So
So
I like
And
it.
it's fun
I like
doing
the
it
new
at
time.
happy hour anyway.
Because that's
too.
our Twin Time Adventures is all about happy,
Happy hour
and
and
food and exactly.
and clothing, what to wear,
Yeah.
and what what event.
No,
Girls,
totally.
the girls are good at that.
Carla's good at that.
What? You're
Bye-bye.
both.
Show up.
All right.
The clothing for sure.
All right.
Anyway, thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye. Super fun.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.